Welcome to Dating and Relationship Advice. This is part 3 of a series of a destructive relationship that I've had. And these are past audio files that I've put together. Some of them are a little bit of a mess, but I apologize for the mess of audio that I have. But this is dealing with a passive-aggressive personality mixed with narcissism, mixed with a borderline personality disorder, and this episode is trying to deal with the dysfunction of the relationship in talking with Beth's old boyfriend. And we discuss some of the ins and outs of her problems, and hopefully we can put some light on certain topics and subjects that a lot of people that are dealing with this type of relationship that can help. So this episode is about helping the person and how to deal with the borderline personality disorder type of relationship. Keep in mind you can make comments on the After Hours line and call 330-510-1294. You can also text in any comments that you need, or email at advice, 4, Now let's listen back to some of the audio from the past. There's something to be said about tact, and because she's hypersensitive, there's things that are not needed.
Yeah.
Because she'll sway one way or the other.
Yeah.
So, before I say what it is, she called me yesterday. Well, we talked yesterday. We talked most of the night, and she was on her lowest low. And I made her laugh, and I talked her through things, and I usually do, and she apologized. She said she loves me, and she doesn't normally do that. And she goes, "I'm sorry I was so mean to you. I was sorry I was a bitch in Vegas. I was sorry," and she kept on going on and on and on. And she mentioned that, she was lonely, and, this is part of her ailment. I already know all this.
Yep.
If that makes sense.
I do.
So, after she apologized and after, she did everything, she goes, I'm a mess, and I told her I was a mess too.
Mm-hmm.
Because for different reasons.
Sure.
But she said she wanted to date me again, and I questioned a lot of things, and she does what she does. You notice that she puts you on a pedestal, and then when she's at her lowest, and now you're free falling, and you have a long drop. So she goes from one extreme to the next. I mean, those kind of things that I can't take, and I can't get over it, because she pumped me up so far, because nobody's ever done that before, because everybody's always criticized me for every little stupid thing, and I don't know why, because for me personally, I think I'm a good person.
I think you are too.
But nobody's ever verbalized it. But, she was the first person who ever did. And so I got such a high that there's nobody else better than she is. And I can't get over it.
Mm-hmm.
But that's my problem.
I know, I completely get where you're coming from. I completely understand. I honestly, really, truly do.
Well, but I see people compliment you all the time. I don't get that.
What do you mean compliment me all the time?
Sorry. It's hard to talk. No, I see people like when we were in public, when we were out, when we were doing karaoke or whatever we were doing. People compliment you, whether it's your eyes or your height or somebody's tweaking your nipples and wanting to see your penis, whatever it is.
Okay, nobody's ever wanted to see my penis, dude. What the fuck?
Well, no, you made the gesture like somebody was at the bar and she suggested, "You're big, aren't you?"
Oh, because I was tall. The drunk Russian chick. Okay, yeah, I got you.
So
Yeah.
you know, I don't get any of that. So for me, all of that stuff is a compliment.
I see. Okay. I guess for me it was from a romantic person. You know, it's the difference between me, friends, whatever. I didn't get that. My last relationship, my 20-year relationship, I did not get that from my romantic partner. She did not. She didn't support me in that way. If I was, sick or hurt or something, whatever, she's there for me. But the everyday kind of, you're so great, you're so nice, blah blah blah, whatever, she was very kind of standoffish. She didn't really like to touch much. She wasn't a cuddler, and I didn't get any of those things, and I was starved for those things. And you have, Beth, who is, all of those things and supports you and says all these beautiful things about you and whatever and cuddly and all that, And to experience that is like the greatest thing. And then, you understand what I'm saying, right?
Yeah, I've been there, done that. It's, the same thing. Got the trophy. But that's part of her personality disorder. And that's not her.
I was too close. I was too close to her to realize that. I didn't see it until I emotionally separated from her. So.
Well, see, I saw it during and after and from the beginning. Because, I continue to feel used by her. And I told her last night that, people use me. People use me for, like my friend Angie. My friend Angie has the same problems as Beth does. She has the personality disorder. I got Angie and her husband Tim back together, and this was years ago, and they're still going on, and they're still doing great. So, she uses me for advice. Everybody uses me for advice. They don't go out, to sing karaoke with me or shit like that. And I'm like, I like somebody to hang out with, and all I have is Beth. And I asked Beth, well, I don't want people to use me anymore. I'm tired of being alone. And, we kind of cried together, and she goes, I'm tired of being alone, and I'm sorry. I miss your smell, I miss your hugs, and she kept on listing things on. And I know she was just saying that because she was low. And for me, a lot of that thing is hard to swallow because she says the opposite thing the next time you talk to her. So I don't really know what the truth is. It depends on, what her personality is. So, I'm looking at my past with her. And even the first time we started dating, we had a lot in common. When we first started talking, we didn't meet yet, so we got excited, and then all of a sudden she goes, well, I'm going to see how this relationship goes. And, she told me about this guy, and he liked sports, and he liked to watch football and this and that, but she still wanted to try, knowing that she doesn't like this stuff, and knowing that me and her already had a connection, and her and him did not. So she went off with this guy to, because she liked something that drew her attention. And then...
Are we talking about her current, the person who she's feeling for right now?
No, this is when we first started dating a long time ago.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, go ahead.
Because she has this pattern. This is the reason why I'm telling you this.
Yeah.
So she went after this guy. It wasn't what it was cracked up to be. And she went back to me. And I'm like, I don't like to be second best. And I talked to Angie because I was close to her then. And she goes, I never give anybody a second chance. I'm not the person that people fall back on. If you're interested in me, then let's date. I don't want to hear about, okay, you dated 10 men and then, oh, Brian's there because he likes me. I might as well just go out with him. And I'm like, oh, thanks. It's like a big fuck you to me. So Beth has done that tons of times. So she's done that with Rob. She's done that with you back to me. She's done that with Gary back to me. And now she's doing that with this guy that she has no... She doesn't know if this guy can take what she has to offer. I'm sure she's going to treat him great. There's a big high and then put him on a pedestal and then watch him fall. That's what I'm thinking that's going to happen. And she's done that with a lot of people. And I feel like a big tool just coming back to her because there's such a big draw. We have unbelievable amount of things that we're connected to. More than anybody. And she will not admit it. And I will I will call her shit on it. Or I will call her out on it. I asked her last night, what is she looking for that's missing? And I'm guessing this is the thing that you promised her she wouldn't tell me. But I don't know if it's going to be different, but she told me that she was looking for devotion. And I called her out on it. And I don't know if that's what she told you, or maybe it's something different. But
she's looking for devotion?
Yeah, she's missing devotion, and that's what she's looking for. So
no,
she might be...
That's not it, no.
Right, and that's why I'm thinking she's pulling that out of her ass, because I can call her out on every single thing. And so I called her out on this one. I go, I was devoted to you while you dated and fucked Rob, you dated and fucked Ken, you dated and fucked Gary, you dated and tried to fuck Brian. And now you're back to me. And I'm devoted. My Facebook has never changed. It looks like we're still dating. All these things that everybody sees knows that I'm madly in love with this girl that stabs me in the back over and over and over. So why would she just arbitrarily pull that out of her ass? It's like I'm looking for devotion.
Because she doesn't think she's getting it from where she wants it, if you want my honest opinion.
Where she wants it? I'm not sure I understand.
Okay, she has feelings for someone else, right?
Yeah.
Okay. She's not getting devotion from this person who she... How much did she tell you about this person?
Well, I can get... She told me that, why aren't you with him now? Does he know? And she tells me, well, he doesn't exactly know. I didn't tell him, which, I think that's bullshit. And...
okay.
And this, she can't explain it. She can't explain the connection. And I gave her a 2-page list of 100 things or more, and I explained it to her. It's like, these are the connections, these are the commonalities. Even fate brings us together. It doesn't matter what it is or what we're doing. Even when we're not together, we still are on the same life path, amazingly enough.
Okay.
But she wants the what if over there when she has a guarantee over here. So I explained it to her that you just like, she's being selfish. In my personal opinion, she's being selfish because she wants the happiness, regardless of what it is, and she can make up whatever she's looking for, and I still think that she's going to pull it out of her ass. And she's just making it up because I know I have what it takes, and I can prove it. And I've shown her over and over again. I mean, you don't know the total history.
Brian, okay, look. She is so not being honest with you. Okay, oh, Jesus, man. Okay, let me ask you this. If you would just answer some questions for me. Number one, she told you that she was in love with someone else, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Did she explain anything about this guy at all? Or anything about the situation?
She said it's complicated, so I'm thinking that he might be married, just like Rob was. And she was in love with Rob, so I can relate with that. And the only thing I can think of is it is Rob, but 2 years. So 2 years she spent. Do you know the details of what Rob and her went through? I can tell you.
Every single fucking detail. Yes, she has told me.
So yes. The key fob issue, and
yep.
when she stalked him,
yep.
looking through his window.
Yep. The GPS tracker, all of it, dude. I've heard it all. Yes.
I mean, it was sick. It was.
Yeah, you think?
It was obsessive compulsive. She wanted that high. She wanted that chase. She wanted that. Her endorphins were going in overdrive, and once the newness wore off, she got sick of him, and she realized it wasn't for him, or it wasn't for her, because according to the stories, made me believe that he led her on. I mean, he was just there for the sex, pretty much.
And yeah, I came to that conclusion as well.
And they didn't have the commonality or the things that me and Beth have, or even you and Beth had.
100%. That is true. Yes, that is absolutely accurate.
So he will never ever fulfill her, and she's going to perpetually look.
That is also accurate. Yes.
So she's going to do this for the rest of her life, because she's going to look for the next thing. Her endorphins are going to just die out, and then the excitement's going to go away, and real life is going to hit in, and her personality disorder is going to come out, and it's going to be a perpetual problem.
Well, but now that she's aware of it and she's read this book and she understands when that's happening, she's being a little better at,
I don't believe that, because she's still doing it. She was a little better after Gary. That's bullshit. She's a little better after this. She's going after this guy when she knows she has a guarantee.
Well, yes, because remember when she asked that question of you? Do you think it's better to have someone who you're absolutely 100% head over heels with, but maybe doesn't feel the same about you, or to have someone who you don't have the same feels for, but someone who absolutely adores you and is totally in love with you? Which one would be better? Do you remember this?
Not quite. Yeah, well, yeah, sort of.
Yeah, when you pulled out a bunch of questions from this game, and she said, okay, I have one for you, and she asked you that question. There's a reason why she asked you that question.
Well, of course, because she's not in love with me.
Yeah, so she's asking, is it better to be with someone who you're not completely, in love with or feel the same, but this person absolutely loves you and absolutely adores you, and you have all of this, feelings of affirmation and everything because of how they feel, but they don't feel, but you don't feel totally the same about them. Or is it better being with someone who you are absolutely completely in love with, but the person you're in love with doesn't really feel the same all the way as you do?
Well, see, I have a problem with that because if we're talking about Beth, she puts you on a pedestal. She makes you believe the same thing that you're feeling. So it's a total lie through the whole relationship.
Oh, I know.
So she can't ask that question because she fills you full of shit in order to get what she wants. It's all about her. It's not about you. It's not about your feelings.
Well, yeah, that's why she has double standards, because you can do this, you can do this, you can do this. I mean, she can do this, she can do it, but as soon as you do something, fuck you, fuck that guy, blah, blah, blah. Like, but you've been doing it the whole time, woman, damn. Yeah, I know, I feel you. So, yeah. No, I get it.
That's not something. It's not somebody that you really want a relationship with. That's why I kind of asked you, why would you be friends with somebody who treats people like shit all the time, purposely? And I say purposely because she knows she's doing it because she gets gratification, and I understand it's part of her disorder, but she acknowledges it. And she still does it, and there's a lot of solutions and a lot of help that me and you can give her, and me and you can enforce, because I've dealt with this situation before, and I know she doesn't want to listen to me because she has different feelings, and it's almost like you don't want to listen to what your mother tells you to do. You want to go out and experience life. And experience for yourself. So that's why I'm thinking she doesn't want to listen to me, but she will listen to you. And in a sense, I can give you the tools. And I've suggested to her, the same thing. But her problem always manifests themselves when she's in a relationship. And she will take everything personally. And you know that. But things don't come out when she's alone. Things will come out when she's in a relationship. And they did with Gary, of course, and eventually they will with this guy. So, you know what splitting is, right?
I do.
Okay. It's either all good or all bad, of course. And, she... or those type of people just write people off and destroy your self-worth. Well, she destroyed me completely, and I can't recover. So that's her. Well, I know that's her defense mechanism and thought process. So she separates herself doing this black and white discussion in order to survive. So I know that, and I want you to know that I know that. And she lives in these emotional extremes. So, now, in my opinion, you need to get the person with this disorder to listen to themselves. Now, there's a lot of value in learning that a lot of things are not fine. And she needs to realize how to cope with stress, and she doesn't really. So, and we did talk about, and you did suggest, the mindfulness or living like a monk, and I believe, and I practiced this even before you got the books, or suggested it to Beth. Mindfulness is a big part of her healing. I believe. I don't know if you would agree with me or not.
I agree.
But she needs to observe and accept her feelings and thoughts without judgment. And she needs to identify criticism and learn to accept them. And anything that I tell her, any little crumb that I give her, she will take offense. She'll get pissed off, and she'll tell me, "Okay, leave the house. I want to break up with you. I can't handle you." She did that, and all I'm doing is trying to help her. And my suggestions weren't meant to criticize. And I know I'm going back to that instance where she thought that I was telling everybody that she was an alcoholic. That didn't come out of my mouth. I was just concerned because she was running away like she always does. She doesn't talk to me, and she that particular time she drank her problems because she was worried on what I was going to think. Well, she told me that she was in love with Rob, but she hid this current relationship from me. That doesn't make any sense. So, and I know she likes to kind of live in the past. It's like, well, you've done this before, so you're going to do it again, aren't you? But you can't really. You'd have to focus in on the moment, of course. You already know that because that's the mindfulness and living like a monk and everything that it seems like you stress to her. I don't know for sure.
Oh, I do.
Okay, so and I always related to, there's a reason why you have a small rear view mirror, because you shouldn't really look at the past. You should look at the windshield and let go of the past and look forward through that windshield and focus forward. So I used to use that analogy a lot with people, and it made a lot of sense to them. Because the past is just going to destroy you, and growth is ahead of you, learning is ahead of you. Beth loves to learn, but she doesn't. What do you say? She doesn't practice what she preaches. That's what I'm trying to say, and that's a big thing. She gives a lot of advice, but she doesn't take her own. And she does what she wants because she's stubborn. You still there?
I'm still here. I'm listening, yeah.
Okay, so it got real quiet, so I... Okay.
Okay.
So, now there was a time, me and her were talking last night, and she mentioned an event that you went to. Now, you went out to an event with a lot of friends, and I think it was recent. And she wanted, and she wanted to go with you, but you didn't take her. So I'm not sure the conversation, what happened, but the way she described it is, yeah, okay, and that's what she heard you say, or she told me that you said, yeah, okay, and she thought that, oh yeah, I'm going to take you. And a lot of things, she's attached to you, and she still wants to pretend like your boyfriend and girlfriend kind of thing, and she wants to go everywhere where you're going because of her personality disorder, her being lonely. She just wants to be a part of something. Well, normally with this kind of disorder, you almost have to open up the conversation a little bit. Instead of having yes or no answers with her, say, well, I want to go out with a bunch of friends, and this is kind of my time to be reacquainted with people that I haven't seen before. And yeah.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about, and that's not the way it went at all. I said that my daughter is going, as well as my ex and her current husband, and I'm staying with a group of people already. That's why I said I told her about it like a month and a half ago. I said, no, I'm taking Sarah, and then, Crystal and Sean are going, we're going to be staying, so I don't really have, so I don't know what you're talking about, to be honest.
Right, but this is how she described it to me. So your event, she's describing it differently.
I didn't say, yeah, okay. When she said, hey, do you want someone to go with? I said, well, actually, more with my daughter and with, her mom and her other. I told her I was going with other people. There wasn't no, yeah, okay. I didn't say that.
Right, I'm just
kind of. I get what you're saying. Letting you know, because that's not what I said.
Right, I'm sure, because there's always conflicting issues because of her mental disorder.
Yep.
So that's why I'm going through this. It's like you have to have an open-ended conversation with her. It's like I said this, so I'm pretending like I'm you. I said, well, I'm going out to this event, and then I want to see some people that I haven't seen before. I'm pretending. I'm pretending that I'm making up a story here. Just to bring my point out. So I want to go here, and if it's okay, it's okay. We're not in a relationship; we're just friends. So I'm not going to bring you this time, and I'm just going over here. And what I would suggest is having an open-ended conversation and ask her, "What did you hear I say? How did you interpret it?" And for me, this is what she alluded, and this is what there's things that she said. How she interpreted is, now you're abandoning me again, just like everybody else. You're not making me feel this and that. She's thinking of the negative. She's thinking of the extremes when that wasn't the case at all. So just so you know, I understand how to deal with this. I understand her completely, more than anybody thinks that I do. And this relationship that she's going after is going to be probably going to be a train wreck. I mean, I hope not. But she thinks that I'm just going to stand by and, I got Brian left, so I might as well go after this. Or once I come back to Brian after this guy, let me look around to see if there's anything else, because Brian doesn't care.
Well, 100% honesty, she told me that she'll just live her life with you, because she doesn't want to date Ryan anymore. She doesn't want you to adore. She said, I'll just be with a guy who adores me. I'm just going to be honest with you and tell you what she said.
No, I get that. Yeah, that's exactly what I was trying to tell you. And no, I'm gonna kick her to the curb.
You are.
No, because I'm not gonna be treated like some piece of shit. That I'm gonna just go after. I'm just gonna date Brian because he's there. That pisses me off.
Really?
Yes, it always has, and I've always told her from the very first person that she did that with me too. And I go, I'm very reluctant to date you, even though this was our first date, and you chose to go out with that football guy, even though you knew that we had a connection, and now you're back with me.
Yeah.
And now you do that to me with Rob, and now you're back with me. I don't have a self-esteem anymore after that shit.
I understand.
I used to be a real positive person. I used to be on top of the world until she came along and she blew it up, and it was amazing. And now I'm a pile of shit.
I can honestly say, I understand. Can I be real with you?
Well, you better be real with me. guys are hiding stuff that I don't appreciate.
Well, I make promises and I keep them. But I'm going to be real with you now. I want her to be okay. So when I shared my feelings and things that I was dealing with my therapist, it made her feel bad. I still feel bad for her making her feel bad, even though I was the one who was feeling bad, right?
Oh wait, you were breaking up a little bit. Sorry.
Boy, that's a mouthful. So wait a minute. All right. What I was saying was, I had a conversation with her about something I was talking with about my therapist, right?
Yeah.
And it made her feel bad because it involved her and our relationship. And it was just, I don't know how, she asked me about it, I think, now that I think about it. And it made her feel bad. Because she says, you're depressed, you're like, whatever, you were, and you're dealing with things, and, it makes me feel like shit that, you're about your feelings, so I don't want to talk about it anymore. I don't want, talk about it with the friend, with the therapist, whatever. And I said, okay. I said, no worries. And I felt really bad, I felt really bad. That was not my intention. I wasn't trying to make her feel bad, you know what I mean?
Well, see, you that's the one thing that I wanted to stress too. You can't do that with her. Just like you can't, because I'm going back to, I suggested you not sharing, I cash in my 401k, I'm bankrupt, we bought this house, I bought a ring, I bought a lot of things that I can't afford because there was a future for us. And she just ripped my heart out, and she twisted the knife in further. So you can't share that stuff because she takes it way too personally, and it's going to go, it's going to bring her lows down to a low, and then she's going to draw you in again. She's going to do what she did to me last night. She goes, I love you, and I want you back. I want to sing a love song to you. I want this, I want that. When she's pawning after some other guy. And this other guy should have been supportive of her and what she's doing. This other guy should have been talking to her. I shouldn't have been talking to her. If she's in love with this guy, they should be in a relationship working together. Not me and her. Not you and her.
Yeah.
This guy's not going to work out because she's going through the same circles. She's destroying and doing the same things. I don't care if she realizes new things or not. She's practicing the same things. She's not she's not physically doing it.
Yeah.
But I'm sorry for interrupting. So go ahead.
No, you're fine. And so basically, at that, a friend of mine who's really well versed with all this, he said, Ken, what you need to do is like a few weeks, in a couple of weeks, which I did. She's like, tell her, hey, you had a breakthrough, things are good, whatever. And so I'm okay. She says, never let her see, that you are not okay. Never let her. She says because she doesn't need to know that. She doesn't need. You need to keep that to yourself, and you need to not. And again, I didn't realize that until I had that conversation with her, and I didn't realize that about her. So.
See, we should have had this conversation a long time ago.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. I mean, I don't know what you trust about me or believe about me, but I have a lot of experience in this kind of ailment, and I kill myself to help people, and I'm tired of it, and I can't live anymore. But that's my issue.
Yeah.
And everything that you tell her, she takes it so personally and goes down that rabbit hole, and you know that.
I do.
And asking Beth to tell you, what you hear me say is important in the healing process. Well, asking her, if you ask her a question, or if you tell her something, that's what I meant. If you tell her something, ask her, what do you hear me saying? And she'll probably say something totally different than what your expectations were.
But I used to do Crystal all the time. She gets pissed off at me, and I'm like, okay, look, I know what I said. What did you hear?
Yes.
So,
And what you, in my opinion, in my experience, you want to encourage responsibility in her case.
Yep.
Because she's gonna, she destroys herself. She needs to be responsible for her actions. And with me, and right when she kicked me out, while I was leaving the door, I told you she doesn't take responsibility for her actions. And I didn't follow up with you, but, I can now, because now that you know that she has a personality disorder. And I realized that a long time ago.
So where are you guys at now? Are you still talking, or?
Yeah, we're still talking. She doesn't know how I feel. Well, she knows how I feel. She thinks that I'm madly in love with her, which, it is true. And I can't choose who I love for some reason.
Dude, nobody can, dude. Nobody can.
But well, let me go back to my other process, where I need to finish my thought. Sorry, for I want to leave off. Well, where I left off is I want you to encourage responsibility in her case. So I tried to do that too. And you might feel that she is using emotional extortion. That might be true, but that's above your pay grade.
Yeah.
And I pointed out and I suggested specifically what she needs to look for. And hopefully she finds that person, because she needs a counselor with that particular attribute that I sent her. And this is why it is so important that she gets treatment, because this is going to be an ongoing thing. It's almost like going to AA. She's not going to get rid of it, but there are fixes for it. There's not an instant cure. And she's not going to read a book and all of a sudden realize, oh, I'm fixed. That doesn't happen that way.
Yeah.
And she will always pull you up and pull you down. She'll do this to the next guy. But it's important to manage your responses to her. At least I think so. Because you didn't cause it, you can't cure it, and you can't fix it. So this is what I call the 3 C's. You're not the cause, you're not the cure, and you can't fix her. She can fix her. She's the only one that can fix herself. And when she connects with somebody or anybody, you know that she's going to be a roller coaster of emotion. So I suggested an evidence-based therapy because, because of the way she is, I know what she needs. She's not going to listen to me because I'm too close to her. But I really do hate what she's done to me.
I can understand that.
And I don't know. I don't know why I can't live without a person like this. Well, I understand why is because of my problems and how I grew up, and
it kind of intermingles with how she grew up and everything else, and we have such a connection. And we understand each other, and it's just, the highs are so high, but when she gets in her mood, all hell it's over. I mean, even though I keep quiet or anything that I do to try to help her, it's not good enough. And she's going to do the same thing with this guy. Because she already told me that she made a list, and this is beyond ridiculous to me. She made a list of the positive things of him. She made a list of positive things for me. Now, I don't know if this is a lie or not, but maybe it was because she was emotionally unstable and at her lowest that she told me these things. But I just have to take her for her word, because this is what she's thinking now.
Mm-hmm.
And she's comparing. She's comparing him to me. You can't compare people. People aren't alike. People aren't 100% what you want.
Yeah.
But people can be what you need.
Indeed, my friend, indeed.
And I know she needs you. And I know you're a positive person for her.
Well, I don't know. I'm not sure if she still.
Well, no, she represents something for her. I'm not saying that she needs a relationship with you beyond friendship.
No. I'm talking about friendship. I'm not talking about anything more.
Oh, okay.
No. I'm not talking about anything more. I think, I don't know. I'm having my own feelings and issues. I think it's because of the moon that was happening.
So you're a werewolf when the moon comes out?
No.
No, I'm just kidding.
It was a full moon, and it was it brings out a lot of emotions. So.
Well, it's okay to get it out.
Yeah. It's okay.
Yeah.
It'll be alright.
But I would appreciate you when you wouldn't share the hateful things that I think about Beth, because it's just.
That's fine. I'm not gonna. No. As long as you don't, share my stuff and whatever. So yeah, no, I won't. In fact, I won't even tell her that we're talking. So.
Well, if she asks, I know you're going to tell her, because that's what you do.
What if we're talking?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I won't lie to her, but no. I mean, I have learned my lesson about sharing our conversation, so I'm not going to do that again. I've learned my lesson on that. Anyway, yeah, man, it's been a odd few days. I hope you figure out something, because I don't know what you're going to do.
Well, see, that's where, I know how to help everybody else, but I don't know how to help myself.
Dude, who are you telling?
Well, that's why I'm thinking, you're an outsider and you can see certain things maybe I don't. And I know I need to stay away from her, because she's destructive to anybody.
Dude, I don't know what she thinks. Why she thinks I have that, why she thinks,
because you didn't abandon her.
No, I'm sorry, no, that's all I was saying. I don't know why she thinks I have all these people that are after me and blah, blah, blah. And you just have so many options, you have so many... No, I have a bunch of friends. I have a whole lot of friends.
Well, see, I see it a little differently. You have a lot of options, but you don't like the options that are presented because you're not compatible with them. You're not compatible with the person that likes to watch football or those kind of things. So you don't associate to people that you can't relate to, right?
Right, and I don't.
And those people are attracted to you.
Oh, I see what you're saying. So I do have people that are attracted to me. I'm just not attracted to them. So is what you're saying. So I could have someone if I wanted to, but I'm choosing not to because I don't feel that way about them. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I have the same problem where, you know, a lot of people just annoy the hell out of me, but they want a relationship and they do the same thing that I do to Beth, or that I did to Beth, where I'm madly in love with her, and you know they do the same. They want to be with me, and they would do anything for me, and yeah, I can't do that because it's a big turnoff. Because if I'm not interested, it has the opposite effect. So her question, when you're going back to that one question, is would you go out with somebody who's madly in love with you and you don't have the same feeling? No, it doesn't work that way. It's either we're both interested, we're both attracted, we both have the same feelings, or it's not.
Yeah.
It doesn't work.
Well, you also understand where I'm at. Once you've had a woman like that, how do you even compare? Do you see what I'm saying?
Well, see, you have to. Maybe I should take my own advice because I can give you advice with this one.
Okay.
You have to look at all the things that dragged you down, that she's done, and that's not a woman that you want to be with. Do you want a woman that does that to other people? Do you want a woman that I don't know if you want to call it lying, twisting the truth, white lies, or maybe just not saying enough just so she can get you to do what she wants you to do? Do you want a person like that? No.
See, for me, I guess, I don't know. I guess I didn't see it that way. I mean, I guess now that I'm out of it, but when she and I were together, everything was really good, but it was my female friends that was my downfall. I don't think that's fair, but you know what? It goes to like, okay, she may be perfect for me, but I'm not perfect for her.
She's making you believe that you were perfect together. That's her manipulation. Because she's trying to get what she wants. She's lonely, and she even told in front of you that she was always looking for me while she was with you. And I'm thinking in the back of my head, why would you say that in front of Ken while all three of us are together? You don't do that, because you're just dragging him down again, stabbing the knife even further in, and she does that to me, she does that to you, even though you don't see it, and she'll do that to him. And people probably oversee that because she's so cute, and people want to be with her because she's so cute, and we'll just laugh it off because, you know, we have good sex, and we'll not think about those bad things. But you got to look at those bad things, and they're detrimental for your emotional health.
You know how I'm working through things?
Yeah.
And she actually said this. She was like, she says, when you're making a list, oh, but we were so good at this, we were so good, things were, we're really great here. She's like, if she said, you only need one thing on the con list to pretty much be over it. And
yeah, for her.
She said, does this other person want you? If the answer is no, then that should be the only thing on the con would say this to myself. She doesn't want you, man. She doesn't. I mean, and that's how I had to redirect my brain. That's how I had to retrain myself in my thinking. Because for 8 months, it was all her, you know, and everything. And you know what? Yeah, she's pulling away, but you know what? This is just, you know, it's just because she's scared. I just have to show her that, you know what? I'm a good man. I'm blah blah blah. When she didn't communicate to me that it was the whole friends thing, and it was, you know.
That was just a fraction of a thing that she had a problem with. Because she's pining after somebody else. She's always going to be pining after somebody else.
When the newness wears off.
Yeah. She's like, oh, I don't feel good anymore. I don't feel loved enough anymore. Well, shit, I loved her enough for 100,000 people, because what I've done with her, nobody's done. Nobody's done as much as I have, not even you.
It's because you've had more time. And she was open to you.
Not even more time.
She wasn't even open to me. Because it was, okay, things are alright, but as long as she was not feeling, you know, as long as she was not feeling, secure, then that was, she said the thing, I could never make her feel secure.
Well, see, I'm not even looking at that she's open to anything. I'm looking at, I've done things above and beyond, that I'm looking at thousands of other relationships that I know of. People don't do this. People don't create photo albums of times that they spent together. People don't normally create mixed tapes for each other. People don't create card games for each other to make us closer. Even though we're really close now, let's make a card game to make us even closer. And the list goes on and on that we've already gone through. People don't do that in even the 3 months that I've been with her, that you've known me with her. People don't go to that extent and do as much as I did in a relationship. It doesn't matter if she's open to it or not. And then she said, "Oh, you didn't do enough." That's just bullshit. It's almost like she's a succubus. She gets what she wants, she pumps you up, and then she destroys it. This is what my friend Ben, who, you know, he's dead now, and he gave me this advice. Where you don't hang out with people that are succubuses. And I don't know if you see that or agree with me a little bit, that you see that in her. But she's a good salesman. She's a really good salesman, and she'll sell you all kinds of stuff. And I think you kind of see that now, don't you?
Oh, she is. Yeah, she's very good at that.
And I'm sure she'll do that with this guy. And she destroyed the only man, well, maybe the only 2 men that would probably stay with her for the long haul. Whether it's friends or whatever it might be. But you notice how many friends she has.
Oh, I know.
And to me, that speaks loud.
Yeah.
She has none.
And you were questioning me at the beginning because she was a good salesman, wasn't she? When we first started dating. And I know she needed you because she never had a friend like you, at least. And she still needs you, regardless of what she does.
Oh, I know. I know. And it stays easy.
And I'm still on the path of destruction. But, you know, I'll help her as much as I can. And hopefully some of the tools that I suggested help. Or make sense, at least.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
It doesn't make sense why why she doesn't want me or why she's settling. She's not going to give me a clear-cut answer on what she's missing. And, you know, I don't care if you tell me or not. Nothing's ever going to work for her in the path that she's on now. I don't care how many books that she reads.
Well, when she puts the effort into it, all depends on her.
No, it's not the effort. She needs evidence-based therapy. She needs to be shown that she's accountable for her own actions, for her destroying herself. She caused the jealousy. You didn't. She caused the mistrust. You didn't. And there's evidence based off of, you know, what she does. She needs to see it for herself. She needs to look into a mirror. Not because she's fixing her hair, but in other ways. You know what I'm saying?
I do.
Because she doesn't want to admit it, but she's exactly like her father. That she doesn't like.
That's the worst fear.
And her father has the exact same ailment. He did the exact same things to her. And that's why, you know, she did this split thing and she thinks black and white to just protect herself. She's practiced that a long time. And she's got a lot of other issues within there besides just a personality disorder. Or at least the, you know, severe highs and lows.
Yeah.
But, you know, I know how to guide her in the right direction. But she stabs me in the back every single time. She stabbed me in the back yesterday.
How so?
She lied to me. She told me that she loved me, and she told me she wants a relationship now, and she told me, well, give me 2 weeks. And she didn't give me a reason. And now that she...
Wait, hold on, back up. Give you 2 weeks about what?
Give her 2 weeks to decide. So what she's doing is, so you probably don't even realize this. So now that she's better, her mood has changed because, you know, I made her laugh and I made her feel better and I made her feel loved, and that's what she needed at that particular time. So now she's better. Now it's the next day, and I asked her about this other guy. And, you know, I learned that something's going to happen because things are complicated. So in 2 weeks, in June, something's going to happen within 2 weeks, and she'll decide whether to be with him or me. She's going to be surprised she's not going to be with me, regardless of what she does. I'm willing to help her.
I don't know, Brian. I think when faced with the possibility of having her, and
you don't understand. No, you don't understand who I am.
Okay, maybe I don't. Maybe I I don't know you well enough.
No, because I'll write you off. You stab me in the back so many times. You hurt me so many times. You cheat on me so many times. You do all these things. Why wouldn't anybody leave?
I agree. And I think you should. Yeah, I wouldn't want to be anyone's second choice either. So, no, I feel it.
I wouldn't even be her friend if I were somebody else. Or if I was in my right mind, maybe I would have left a long time ago, because she treated me so bad over and over and over again, and all I did was love her. All I did was help her. All I did was try to grow, try to make her realize certain things. And she's not gonna learn it from me. She's going to criticize me, but she's going to learn it from herself. And I'm still going down that destructive path. I know Beth will never be open enough to be with me. And I don't want her to settle, because that's the last thing that I want. Because our whole relationship was a lie. And if she comes back to me, it's all going to be a lie. And I know she's going to be looking behind her shoulder for the next guy that sparks her interest. It's like, oh, I like this about this guy.
Yeah.
She did that to Tyler. She did that to Rob. She did that to you. And she did that to Gary. She's looking for her next fix. She's not going to change. At least not quick enough. This is going to take years and years, and by that time I'll be dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, she doesn't give a shit about me or my feelings, or else we would have worked together. And I figured the same with you. It's not about the jealousy. You could have worked together. You could have made her feel comfortable. She met your friends.
She did. She met my family. She met my daughter. She met my granddaughter. I mean, yeah. Yeah.
I waited years because I knew exactly what she was about. And she thought I was married, and she had all kinds of assumptions.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I didn't want to tell her the truth, that, I think you have a lot of issues, and I don't want to drag my kids into it. But she's a good salesman. She reassured me that this is what she wanted. We both felt exactly the same thing. We reassured each other over and over and over again. And she needs reassurance. And at the same time, she hates me to repeat things. What a conundrum, huh?
Yeah, indeed.
So again, she did the same thing to herself. She made something that she doesn't like, and she moved on from it. It's like, I hate Brian when he repeats himself. Well, you asked me to. You wanted reassurance. I gave it to you. And then she'll hang on to that one thing, and she'll go, this guy doesn't do that to me, so I'm going to go after him. Even though I have 10,000 things in common with Brian, this one thing that I want, he doesn't repeat himself, that turns me on. That excites me. I don't know if this is all coming together for you, making sense. I mean, I'm not trying to be an asshole or anything.
I don't think you are. It's getting there. It is getting there.
Yeah, and that's why originally I had a problem with you and Beth, because she lies all the time, and you didn't see her as that, or you didn't see her as a I don't know what you want to call it instead of lying. I'm sure she'll figure out, Beth will figure out something where she's not lying.
Yeah.
Maybe she hid the truth. Maybe she didn't tell the whole truth or give a whole thought. I don't care what you call it. To me, you led me on the whole time. Stabbed me in the back the whole time. Do I really deserve it? Am I really that bad of a person?
No.
That I deserve that from her?
I don't think she could help herself, man, honestly.
But she can realize the truth. She can take accountability for her actions, for every single little thing that she's done. And she needs to stop.
She's trying to, but the problem is, it's not so easy with this whole thing, because I honestly believe until she read and started to understand, she didn't even realize what she was doing. She said, I was doing this, this, and this. Now I understand why. I didn't understand why.
But I told her. She didn't want to hear it from me. When my book comes out, it'll all make sense. I think the first half of my book on dating and a relationship with her, that's going to be the first phase. There's probably 4 other books after that.
Yeah.
And then I don't need her to be in my life. She gave me the closure last night. She twisted the knife in even further, if that's possible. It's like, I'll wait for me while I figure out on how this guy feels about me. I'm like, fuck you. Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
And you want me to be there when she's at her lowest? You want me to make you laugh? After you continue to twist that knife in my back.
Yeah.
Because maybe she's a little more narcissistic than I thought. Maybe she's a little more selfish than I thought. And I didn't want to believe it. Because, again, she's a good salesman. And she's learned from the best. She's learned from her father. And even the people at karaoke, I hear little things here and there. I don't talk a lot, but I can listen really good. And some of the people insinuated that she was overdoing things, like she was fake. I mean, I didn't feel that she was fake for me, because I love her energy, and I love her positivity, and I love her excitement, and that's the attraction. But some of the women, it's a little bit different. I mean, I don't know if you heard anything or saw anything. Maybe it was just me.
I didn't see anything.
But that's the problem with Elizabeth. Elizabeth saw that, and Elizabeth got excited because she wanted a relationship just like what me and Beth had. And so she broke us up because she wanted that excitement. She wanted me to give that to Elizabeth. And I was not interested whatsoever with Elizabeth.
Yeah.
And Beth didn't even want to see my side. She never took my side. She never had my back, ever. But she blamed me for not having her back when I proved it over and over again. So again, there's the double standard. in a sense, whether how small it is, she's always going to be sucking the life out of something and doing something that only benefits her. Because she keeps you around because she's lonely. I mean, I know that it's possible that she can have all kinds of friends. I don't know why, she doesn't attach herself to many people instead of just one or two. Because she has a possibility of having tons. And she can learn from having a lot of friends.
Yeah, you can.
A lot faster because this personality disorder is relationship based, and her problems can fix itself faster with the relationships that she has, with more relationships, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, it does. Well, man, I've got an online therapy session in about 15 minutes, funny enough, so.
Well, thanks for my therapy session. I'll send my bill. Or, yeah, I'll pay you. Sorry. That's what I meant.
You're good, man. Thanks.
Sure. And anytime you want to talk, it doesn't have to be about that. You're welcome to.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Sure. And you don't have to say anything negative that I've said to her because it's just going to cause problems.
I'm not going to say anything at all about our conversation. In fact, she texted me a little bit ago. I'm not even telling her that I talked to you.
Well, even if she asks, tell her.
I'll just say, yeah, we talked, and that's it.
Well, no. If she has questions about me, tell her to ask me personally.
Okay.
So you don't have to be in the middle of anything.
I will definitely do that.
Okay, I appreciate that, man.
Yeah.
So, talk to you later.
Yes, sir.
All right, bye.
Bye.